Hi, we're Andy and Betty Domingo, and this is something that Darryl suggested to us when we were having our second son. Honey, what was Darryl's suggestion on naming our second son? Do you remember?
I'm so glad we didn't call him what Darryl said. He said, "How about Bingo Domingo?" So every time he sees us, he goes, "Hey, how's Bingo Domingo?"
Wasn't there another one that
Oh,
he suggested?
I think it was Flamingo Domingo. So anyway, thank you for your suggestions. I'm glad we didn't take it.
Yeah.
So my name is Marcy Gruby, and I have known Jacob since we were in kindergarten. We went to school together, just at the school. You could literally throw a rock from this house and hit it. We're so close. So I grew up with Jacob and his family. I went to a new school, and we kind of unconnected for a while and then reconnected in high school, senior year. We were in Mr. Beauvais' English class together, Jacob and I. And in that time, we did prom after party in this house with Darryl. He's so funny and welcoming, and Kathy as well. My kind of embarrassing funny story was I was between jobs. It was around 2008 when the economy wasn't doing great and I was laid off. And I was working at the Tri-City Wellness Center, which they love, me not so much. But I was at the front desk and I was checking people in and taking sales calls. And oh my gosh, out of the blue, one morning I hear this, "Is that Marcy?" And it was Darryl and Kathy walking up to the front desk. And he proceeded to take out his phone, wanting to send pictures to Jacob, tell him that he saw me. And I just was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, okay." But his welcoming demeanor, his friendliness, his love, it was always very consistent and constant. And that's what I remember most, that the Darryl that greeted me at the front desk at the wellness center was the same one that I had known since I was in kindergarten. So I'm just very grateful that Darryl was in my life, and that my own dad passed away and also had cancer. So even though it is very sad, um, it's something that Jacob and I connect on and understand one another, and I feel that we understand each other on a deeper level. So I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much, and love to family and friends.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and this is my husband.
Jonas.
And Daryl, he was my uncle. He was my mother's youngest brother. And we grew up away from this side of the family. My family grew up in Colorado, so we didn't get a lot of early experiences with the Tells. But there were a lot of stories, and Daryl was a part of a lot of those stories, and we got to sort of know him from afar. And then when I was much older, after I'd met my husband, we moved out to Los Angeles. And we moved out here knowing almost no one. We didn't have any friends, and we did have this extended family that we had just been in long distance communication with. And right when we got here, Darryl and Kathy welcomed us into their house like we were a part of their family our whole lives. And we were there for Christmas and Thanksgiving, and we'd come in over the summer, and we would hang out, we'd have barbecues with them. And they were our family. It was so important to us. It made such an impact because we felt so far away and so disconnected from my immediate family. His family was also in Colorado, so he was also away from his family. And it was just, we always felt welcome here. And we had a love for food, just like Darryl does and like many people have talked about. I work in restaurants, so Darryl would always ask me about where I was working and was always interested. We'd always talk about food, and we'd always connect on that level. It was really, really cool. So they are a family, and to be back here and to be here in this house is so just impactful and important, and we're just incredibly grateful to be here and be part of this. And we're gonna miss him beyond we can even express.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you, Darryl, and we'll just always remember your warmth, your generosity, your hospitality, your smile, your funny jokes, and you know, talking about food and just our love of food together.
And like that's something that was really cool because my family, our humor is not everybody understands it, and we do a lot of laughing. And we came here, and it was the same thing. There was just so much laughter in this house, and it made me think of my own family so much. And the other thing I want to talk about is that Darryl was able to give me a perspective of my mother that I never knew and that I never had, because he could tell me things about how they grew up and his parents, and that helped me to understand my mother in a way that I never understood. And he would tell me stories of when they were kids and some of the things that they went through, and it helped me to just find a different way and a new way of loving her that I was never able to have before. And she had passed by this point. So it was really incredible to just see her in a new light and a new lens, and he was able to provide that for me, and I'm incredibly grateful for that as well. Yeah. Anyway, we love you, and for those of you who didn't make it here, we know that your thoughts and hearts are with the Tells. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Doug Averin. Darryl was my uncle. My mother was his sister. And in my youngest memories of him were similar to that my brother shared on the microphone tonight, in that he was just the really cool uncle. We were kids, and he was almost like the big brother as opposed to the uncle. And we really looked up to him and revered him. There was a time in our lives, though, where we had been separated when he and my mother were estranged for a few years, and we had sort of lost touch. I reconnected with Darryl as a young adult, and he was more than the cool big brother to me. He became another mentor to me. He became a safe place for peace. And though my life is very good and I have a great young family, there were times when life became overwhelming. And when I needed to quiet my mind, I was able to travel here from Colorado and stay here in a safe place and spend time and looking at the ocean and spend evenings in long philosophical talks with my Uncle Darryl. And I love him and I miss him. And he was such a warm individual. I'm in my 50s and I still feel like I can feel his very big embrace. Just a really warm embrace. So when I needed a safe space to quiet my mind, somebody to come have conversations with that were challenging on subjects, both personal and maybe in current events or politics or sports, this was the place I came to get that peace and recharge my batteries. I'm going to miss him. I love him. I love you, Darryl, if you see this. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jonah Frapwell, and my mom is Toni Brucella. She was Tita Kathy's AFS sister, Uncle Darryl's AFS sister. And my fond memory of Uncle Darryl was when I was a high school cheerleader cheering for Rancho Bernardo. We played at Carlsbad, and he was an announcer in the booth there. And I remember, I didn't know it actually, and he had made an announcement saying that my name, he said his niece is cheering for the Rancho Bernardo Broncos, the competitor, and he made me feel really special and gave me a big shout out. And it was such a great memory, because it was such a nice surprise to first hear his booming voice through the speaker and to hear him acknowledge me and kind of give me that little extra boost, especially when you're a teenager and insecure and you're cheering in front of a big crowd. So yeah, love you, Uncle Darryl. Take care.
All right, some of my favorite memories of Darryl. Being in this house, really, it's such a loving house. It's such a place where lots of card games, lots of board games, lots of karaoke nights. Well, one big karaoke night recently. and lots of laughing, just family getting together, a lot of great meals, and laughing's the main thing. Darryl always made me laugh. I feel like I learned from Darryl that you could have a sense of humor with your kids. You could learn a lot from your own kids by listening, and you didn't have to have. I guess with my own parents, I was really close, but we didn't always joke the same way that when I first met Darryl, I saw him joking with his own kids, and so it had a big effect on me on how I raised my own kids. I think a lot about the laughter and the sense of humor that I share with my kids. I think I learned a lot from watching Darryl and his kids. And I remember the last time that I was saying goodbye to Darryl at this house, I remember walking outside and it kind of crossed my mind that it may be the last time. And so I remember exactly what he said to me. He said, "You guys take care. It was good talking to me." And that was it.
Hi Daryl, this is Tony. I know I promised you that I will give you my recipe for the chicken barbecue. I remember that, and I will still give it to you in heaven. Okay? And I truly miss you. It's been a great time spent with you and the family, and have a good journey. And God bless. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nick Baker, and I'm Ken and Ona's only son. And I think one of the nicest memories that paid tribute to me was back when Aunt Phyllis Knoll, 98th birthday, it was a family get-together, and Darryl was there, and Kathy. The whole family was at the village where Phyllis lives. And at the very end of our birthday party celebration for Phyllis, they asked me to do a magic trick. Well, you know me, I don't just do one trick. I did like 20 minutes. And at the very end, on my finale, Darryl came up afterwards and said, Nick, when I was a kid, a magician called me out of the audience and I was able to be in the show, and he told me all about it. And he said it was the same trick that I did that night. So I thought that was funny. So hey, Darryl, you're the man. We love you. We're going to miss you a lot. Thank you for letting me express my views. Thanks.
Hi, Uncle Darryl. I just wanted to say that of the many reasons you have to be proud of your family, you can add this day. They did a really wonderful job remembering you, preparing this event, getting your whole family together. It's been a tough few years, certainly a tough few months, and I was holding it pretty well until Jack started talking about you teaching him how to father, because I was thinking about all the things that you and your family have meant to mine, and one of the things that has always stood out is the quality of your children. You've got some of the best kids. They've grown into some of the best human beings. They're some of my favorite people, and so I just want to thank you for that and let you know that you lived a good, meaningful, and full life. So I love you very much, and I'm very happy to be here to honor you and to celebrate your life today.
Okay, my name is Ron Baker. I'm Darryl Tell's brother-in-law. And in the old days, I got two stories about some of the trips that we took with Kathy and Darryl. We would be in our vans and be driving places and camping and things like that. So one of the stories which freaked Darryl out was I went into one of the restrooms at a national park, and I had a pencil with me, and I'm not sure if you understand the term of a crack writer, but what you do is you write things in the crack or the grout around the thing. And so I wrote in there, Darryl Tell was here. Well, the next day, Darryl went in the same facility to use it and looks up there, and he freaks out because his name was there. He couldn't believe that Darryl Tell was there, and he was actually there. The second was a trip that we went to Colorado, and we were driving back near Vail, Colorado, and we had to go up and over Highway Interstate 70, I think it was, and there was a lot of snow on the road, and you just couldn't pull off the side of the road. And there were 4 of us in the van. I was driving, and Kathy and Darryl were in the back, and Darryl had to go to the restroom. Now, only Kathy will remember this, but we didn't know what to do. We couldn't pull off. It was bumper-to-bumper traffic. And so someone figured out how to cut the top off of a plastic milk jug. And Darryl, well, it wasn't one. I think it was, one story was no deuce on the bus, but Darryl couldn't survive that. So he relieved himself in the milk carton, and then we opened the door of the van and tossed it out onto the beautiful white snow and stained it forever. So those are two of my memories, a little gross bathroom humor with Darryl Tell. Many more, but that'll do it today. See ya.
Hi, I'm Dan Averin. Darryl was my uncle, and even though it was his favorite joke to always say that he was our favorite uncle, he really was our favorite uncle. Darryl was only about 12 years older than me, so growing up, he was always just a little bit older. He was always the crazy uncle who wanted to play with us and not just go off and talk with the adults and stuff. He was always willing to do fun stuff with the kids. So he was always the one who would do great things with us. And so I just wanted to say we had a great time growing up with our uncle. He was always willing to do stuff with us, and we're going to miss him. And as an adult, we looked up to him, learned a lot from him, and we're going to miss him a lot. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm Darryl's niece, and I wanted to just share how much I admire the ways that Darryl really created, just kind of brought family together, and did so through so many different ways, through humor and through food, and through storytelling, and how it just always, I always felt so proud bringing friends and boyfriends to this home, because of the ways that I just was proud of my family here. I was proud of the Tells. I was proud of their travels and their humor and their interest in other people. And I think that so much of that came from Darryl and the way that they built, Kathy and Darryl built their family around that and taught that to Jacob and Sarah. And so I just really feel so gifted to have grown up with that being something that was shared with me and taught to me and really enriched my growing up and my life now. And I'll just really miss all the ways that there was a lightness and a bite, and kind of an edge to our family get-togethers because of what Darryl contributed and brought. Yeah, I think I'll stop there.
So this today has just been a real wonderful celebration of Darryl. He would have just been so pleased with the feel and the number of people and just how smoothly and comfortable his home remains, even though he's not here anymore. And I know for Kathy that this is a big tribute to him, and I think it's to her too in their long-term relationship. And she really appreciated the number of people who came from so far away, family and friends. And it's just felt very, very, it's not closure, but a wonderful celebration. And so I'm so glad to be here. I'm a little tired because it's the end, but the things that I think resound and will live on with all of us is the warmth of their home. What a wonderful host Darryl always was for us, entertaining just so easily, and always we had such wonderful, warm food and his wit, and I know everyone's gonna miss that, but whenever we think of the home or whenever we think of Darryl, we're going to remember fondly all of that love and all of the warmth that this home will continue to be for us.
Hi, I'm Judy, and I have a story about Darryl that made me laugh every time he did this one thing to Kathy. So when Kathy would get out of the car and start to get back in the car, Darryl would inch the car forward so she could never reach the handle. He would do this a million times, and every time he did, we both laughed like crazy, and Kathy always got mad. It was fun.
Hey, Darryl. Gonna miss you. Enjoyed many conversations talking about food, and especially about the pizza, and that time we were talking about being pizza connoisseurs, and I'm going to just cherish those moments talking about food because you knew so much and you taught me a lot about how we can just really enjoy those moments, savoring a good meal together. And I'm going to miss you and hope you have a great meal up there in heaven. So, bye, Darryl.
So I don't have any particular stories to relate to you or jokes, but just in general about my impression of the kind of person Darryl was. There's just one aspect of who he was. And that's, I've thought a lot about this recently, that Darryl had a way of connecting with people in conversation in a way that portrayed that he really did care about the person he was talking to. He would, perhaps it's because it relates to what he did in his career as a counselor. He's a good listener and had a gentle way of talking that made the person he's talking to feel like they were important, that he really cared, what you had to say, and he listened to what you had to say. And anyway, just want to convey that that's a quality that a lot of people don't have. It's easy to be distracted by outside, surrounding events taking place in the same general area, but he wouldn't let himself be distracted. He would talk with you. So that's basically it. It's just it's something I endeavor to do myself. So thank you, Darryl, for teaching me that.
Hello, Kathy, Jacob, and Sarah. We're cousins, Bradford and Susanna, and we just want to remember Darryl today and tell you and Darryl how much we will miss him and we love him. He was always so welcoming here in this house. We would have family reunions here, and we always enjoyed it so much. He was just very generous and caring and loving. And I go back all the way to when Kathy first met Darryl. We would get together. We were both going to colleges close together, and really enjoyed that time, and really loved being in Darryl's company from that very start. And so you have our condolences. We love you and wish you all the best.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed, especially talking to Darryl at our get-togethers and hearing all about his adventures with you, Kathy, and his time with the family, especially the trips, the food, and really appreciate his gusto for life.
Yes.
Really, he really loved life and everything that can be enjoyed by the senses.
We love you all, and Darryl was a great man and a great father, a great husband to you, Kathy, and Jacob and Sarah, and God's blessings to you all. And we salute Darryl and honor Darryl today. Thank you.
Thank you.
A little something about Darryl, my good friend, who I got to know and really appreciate over the years. And I'm going to miss him a lot. We were real close at the end, and we would go on these walks at the gym when we go 4 or 5 miles around the track, and we never ran out of things to say, never. And so this was a very sudden thing, and we're all disappointed. We all miss him. But we're going to travel on. And also, Darryl was he had certain ideas that were very rigid and that were non-negotiable, like having name tags for today. Darryl didn't like it, and so there's no debating it. So we didn't have the name tags. And also, I made the mistake of saying I was barbecuing something when I should have said I was grilling something. And barbecuing is not something that is as easy as grilling. So anyway, I'm going to miss him. I love him. And take care.
Okay. Hello, my name is Astrid. And Darryl called to me, I look like Bridget, so my name is Bridget here in Carlsbad. And I'm very sad because Darryl is dead, but in German we say he has his heart on the right side of his body. That's it.
He's my favorite dad. Don't really know what to say beyond that, but he did send me his beard in the mail once, and that was really nice of him. He supported my weird art adventures, and for better or worse.
What's the worst joke that he ever told you?
Probably in the hospital when... Yeah, it was in the hospital. He had a Greek doctor, Dr. T, because his last name was Greek and hard to say. And he asked the Greek doctor what they call Greek salads in Greece. And he just kept saying salad. They call them salads. But he repeated it. He repeated it like 7 times, and every time he saw the doctor in the hallway, he repeated it, and I was like, okay, Dad, okay, he gets it. And the doctor had to fake laugh every time. Probably that. The Greek salad joke's pretty bad. It's not even a joke, really. That's all I got.
So I remember one moment with Darryl. We were just hanging around here and talking about language differences. And somehow he came up with the German words for kick in the ass. And I said to him, the German word for, or the German sentence or phrase for kick in the ass was, or is Arschtritt. And he was kind of excited that we have just one word in German for kick in the ass. And I also taught him that we have one other word for Sunday afternoon walk, which is Sonntagnachmittagsspaziergang. So this is kind of a nice memory.
So I'm really grateful to have met Darryl Tell as my counselor in 1999 through 2000. He was the one who picked me up because I had a really bad host family, and he was the one who took me to the Tell family, which became to my second family, and we had tremendous, hilarious, wonderful times. And I really miss my American dad. And yes, I did hate to do chores. I did hate to do all that stuff teenagers have to do. But there was a lot of time which we had so much fun, and it was always hilarious. Bad jokes, good jokes, and I do miss the times, and I love him from the bottom of the heart. And it's heartbreaking that he is not around with us anymore. But he is still here, and we can feel him, and he knows that we're having a good time, and that is what he really wanted to have for us. So, yeah.
So I've known Sarah since 2002. We've been really close since 2002, and her parents sounded really cool. And then when I met them, they were just lovely, and I was really taken with how loving their home seemed, and what a beautiful life that they provided for Jacob and Sarah. And I wish I had had more occasion to spend time with Darryl But since Sarah moved up to the Bay Area, I didn't really get a chance to spend too much time with Kathy and Darryl, but I knew that Darryl was super supportive and really just funny and weird like Sarah, and just compassionate and yeah, just awesome. So he'll definitely be missed. And as Sarah's really close friend, I know that he's been extremely influential to her in all of the best ways, and that she and Jacob are really lucky that he was their father. So.
Maddie, this is Darryl's little sweetheart right here, Maddie. I think my favorite thing I had in common with Darryl was our just annoyances with the world. Something that stands out is the buffet line, and when they would put the buffet table against the wall, which wouldn't make sense because it would just cause this big line and just create all this traffic when you're really hungry. And if you had the buffet table not against the wall, you'd have two lines, not traffic, people would be eating. I don't know. I always felt heard with Darryl whenever I would just get annoyed with all the pet peeves that would go on in life and all the frustrations, and we just shared a lot of that same commonality, and I just love laughing over the annoyance of it all, and I will miss him greatly. Love you, Dee.
All right, so a few words I have to say about cousin Darryl. I call him Uncle, but is his adventurous spirit, and it motivated me to travel and keep exploring the world without any caution, and to be adventurous and to love life to its fullest. And even just watching the slideshow tonight kind of reminded me of the beautiful life he created, because he had no fear about traveling and going places and meeting new people. It's such a loss to Jacob and Sarah, especially, and Kathy, but to the entire family. And I don't know, I just think that I'll carry him in my life for the duration of my life, because I love to travel and I love to experience new things. So he's going to be greatly missed. And sending my love to Jacob, Kathy, and Sarah. And we love you, Darryl. That's it.
It's pretty impossible to summarize my dad, so I will tell a little story about something called the Little Green Book. When we traveled to Europe the first time together as a family in the mid-90s, we ended up going 21, 22 days through a bunch of countries, and my dad had this little green book, and we tracked all of our expenses all through Europe. And what it ended up being for me was like this lesson about like accounting and like, you know, budgeting, but it ended up being like a journal or a diary of sorts as well. This recording of our entire time together as a family, and we've gone back and seen this, and it has all these little footnotes and side notes about, you know, the different places we went, the restaurants, and what we ordered and how much it cost. And we would have these daily budgets, and we would work to go, hey, by the end of the day or the week, we got this money left over, now we can go do something extra fun. And so it was a really cool, engaging way to like bring the family into this process of understanding like about budgeting and, you know, traveling as a family on a shoestring, through Europe, which is not an easy feat. So very cool thing that I will definitely carry with me.
Today was a wonderful day, having everybody be here to honor Darryl's memory. He was loved by so many family and friends, and it was fun to laugh, cry, and just remember all the good times we've had together. Darryl and I met in 1973 in a class at Cal State Fullerton, and it was a I'm okay, you're okay transactional analysis class. And we were friends for a long time, and then it grew to be more. So we were married 48 and a half years. So this last year's been a a long struggle, but I think we've become closer as a family. So I just appreciate everybody coming and celebrating his life. Thank you very much.